Hello, I am Red Blood Cell Champ. The human body circulates approximately 2.5 times 10 to the power of 13 red blood cells. And each cell, like me, lives on average approximately 1.2 times 10 to the power of 2 days. Hello, I am Red Blood Cell Champ. The human body circulates approximately 2.5 times 10 to the power of 13 red blood cells. And each cell, like me, lives on average approximately 1.2 times 10 to the power of 2 days. And my shift begins now. On my back is a biological backpack with 4 primary tools: hemoglobin HB2, carry O2, carbonic anhydrase that catalyzes the reaction CO2 plus H2O forming HCO3-, the band 3 channel that exchanges Cl- and HCO3-, and the glycolysis system that generates adenosine triphosphate, ATP, to sustain my energy even without a nucleus and without mitochondria. My daily mission is clear: pick up O2 in the lungs, deliver it to cells, collect CO2, then return to the lungs, and the whole cycle takes only a few seconds. I travel on a closed circulatory highway, from lungs to left heart to arteries to tissue capillaries to veins to right heart to lungs, operating like a precise biological hydraulic system. The journey starts at the alveolus, where air meets blood, and the diffusion distance is approximately 0.5 to 1 micrometer, which is short enough for O2 to cross the alveolar capillary membrane almost instantly. At the gas exchange membrane, the partial pressure of O2 is high in the alveolus, PO2, pushing O2 into blood, while the partial pressure of CO2 is high in blood, PCO2, pushing CO2 out. A two-way diffusion mechanism described by Fick's law. Each red blood cell contains approximately 2.7 times 10 to the power of 8 hemoglobin molecules, and each hemoglobin binds 4 O2 molecules, which means approximately 1 times 10 to the power of 9 O2 molecules per trip when fully saturated. When I enter tissues, pH drops and CO2 rises. The Bohr effect activates. Hemoglobin decreases affinity for O2 and releases it exactly where needed. On the physiologic HUD, SpO2 is 98 to 99%, which is optimal for a healthy person at sea level. Oxygen-rich blood returns through the pulmonary veins to the left heart, and although the name is vain, this stream carries the freshest O2. The left atrium receives me smoothly. The mitral valve opens on schedule, and flow is guided to minimize turbulence. The left ventricle is the main engine of the systemic circulation, and each beat ejects approximately 70 milliliters of blood and propels me into the aorta at high velocity. Across the aortic valve, leaflets open and close with precision to maintain one-way flow with minimal energy loss. Along the aortic arch, elastic arteries buffer the pressure pulse, stabilizing systolic and diastolic swing by arterial elasticity principles. The arterial network then branches geometrically, expanding cross-sectional area to reduce hydrodynamic resistance according to Porzui's law. At the arteriole, smooth muscle in the wall adjusts lumen diameter and acts as the chief resistance valve that sets tissue perfusion pressure. Entering a muscle capillary, I must deform elastically to pass a lumen only 5 to 6 micrometers wide, while my diameter is about 7 to 8 micrometers, a test of membrane resilience. The diffusion path from capillary wall to mitochondria is only a few micrometers, so the delivery time of O2 falls in proportion to path length and contact area. In a microenvironment with lower pH and higher CO2, hemoglobin shifts from R state to T state and releases O2, a textbook example of physiologic oxygen offloading. O2 reaches the mitochondrion and feeds the respiratory chain to form adenosine triphosphate, ATP, the energy currency powering myofibril contraction and cellular work. I then pick up carbon dioxide, the metabolic byproduct, for transport back to the lungs, thanks to carbonic anhydrase. The reaction CO2 plus H2O 2HCO3- and H+ proceeds about 1 million times faster than uncatalyzed, illustrating the speed of enzymatic catalysis. The band 3 channel performs the chloride shift, exchanging HCO3- out and Cl- in to maintain electroneutrality during transit. Protons, H+, are temporarily buffered by hemoglobin, a finely tuned mechanism preserving blood pH while CO2 is carried. Leaving tissue into small veins, the pressure pulse is lower and flow becomes steadier. Multiple small veins merge progressively, lowering total resistance and improving return efficiency to the heart. At the right atrium, the tricuspid valve opens, allowing blood to enter the right heart without backflow. The right ventricle pumps at low pressure into the pulmonary artery and restarts the pulmonary loop. In the pulmonary artery, I travel at a speed tuned for the next gas exchange round in the alveoli.
Glycation.
At the lungs again, CO2 is eliminated and O2 is reloaded, completing the coupled processes of convection and diffusion. However, carbon monoxide from smoke or polluted air has affinity for hemoglobin. APPROXIMATELY 2 times 10 to the power of 2 times higher than O2, displacing oxygen from binding sites. When co-occupies hemoglobin, binding sites are locked and O2 cannot enter effectively, even if a person breathes deeply. The monitor shows SpO2 dropping to 92 to 94%. And even a decline of a few percent markedly lowers tissue exchange efficiency. With elevated blood glucose, glycation modifies hemoglobin and membranes, forming HbA1c, an index reflecting average glycemia over about 90 days, matching my lifespan. As HbA1c rises, oxygen transport efficiency falls, and red cells become stickier and less flexible, predisposing to capillary plugging. When deformability decreases, I more easily get stuck in microchannels, creating local tissue hypoxia with every second of delay. In the microcirculation, flow Q falls when resistance R rises. Consistent with the equation Q equals delta P divided by R, and heat maps turn red at choke points. Reduced oxygen delivery lowers ATP in muscle, decreasing contractile capacity and producing fatigue. Chronic stress elevates cortisol and constricts vessels, and by Poiseuille's law, R is proportional to 1 divided by R to the power of 4. So small radius drops cause large resistance jumps. The vasoconstriction graph shows narrowed amplitude of arterial diameter, which is fluid mechanics reality rather than mere sensation. Sleep deprivation impairs homeostatic recovery, increases baseline inflammation, and disrupts hormones that regulate blood pressure. Prolonged sitting leads to venous stasis in the lower limbs. And when velocity approaches zero, the risk of venous thrombosis rises. At venous valves, pooling vortices appear, visually striking but physiologically undesirable due to slowed clearance. When blood viscosity increases, R increases, and Q decreases if delta P is unchanged. An unchanging mathematical relationship in hemodynamics. My endogenous ATP comes from glycolysis, and when charge runs low, ion pumps and membrane elasticity weaken, so I tire before your muscles do. My average lifespan is 120 days, and your health status leaves a record in every red cell renewal cycle. Under oxidative stress, the membrane suffers. The spectrin and ankyrin scaffold weakens, and elastic deformability declines. When tissue demand exceeds perfusion, a supply-demand mismatch of oxygen occurs, and the body enters physiologic fatigue. Whole body performance indicators shift to yellow, a signal that early intervention is needed. This is a physiologic threshold, and without lifestyle change, the health trajectory continues downward. Solution 1 is to drink approximately 30 milliliters of water per kilogram body weight per day. Plasma is diluted, viscosity falls, and flow Q rises even without increasing delta P. The bloodstream becomes smoother. Microbubbles decrease, and endothelial red cell shear interactions improve. Solution 2 is to supply iron, vitamin B12, and folate with vitamin C to enhance iron absorption, building a durable hematopoietic foundation. In the bone marrow, erythropoiesis accelerates, new red cells are produced, and the oxygen load is shared with fewer old cells. Solution 3 is cardio training at least 150 minutes per week, which increases capillary density and VO2 max and reduces total systemic resistance because there are more conduits. As perfusion improves, tissue heat maps normalize, and energy is distributed where it is needed. Solution 4 is diaphragmatic breathing in the 4-7-8 pattern, which raises POW2, lowers sympathetic fluctuation, and supports rhythmic gas exchange. Alveoli brighten, O2 density rises, and diffusion time shortens, so better input produces better output. Solution 5 is guideline-based medical therapy and smoking cessation, freeing hemoglobin binding sites from CO. Once hemoglobin sites reopen, oxygen binds more efficiently and SpO2 returns to physiologic range. The control panel turns green again with SpO to near 98%, viscosity normalized, and ATP increased, restoring 3 corners of the performance triangle. At muscle oxygen delivery is now rush hour without congestion. ATP production flares in step with contraction. The brain receives steady perfusion, neural signaling is precise, and alertness and focus return. Skin appears more pink due to improved superficial microcirculation, a visible sign of healthy perfusion. The heart becomes more resilient as oxygen supply and demand are balanced, producing firmer and more regular contractions. The spleen, bone marrow, and immune system are better nourished, completing a balanced circulation immune loop. To summarize the 5 golden strategies: 1. Drink enough water. To add iron and B12 and folate. 3. Perform cardio. For practice deep breathing for 7, 8, and 5. Pursue medical care and smoking cessation. Establish a 7-day plan, convert it into micro habits, and repeat long enough to create a new biologic steady state of health. I am Red Blood Cell Chan, and each time you adjust a small behavior, I will deliver O2 on time to every cell. If you find this helpful, save and share it. Because health is a living equation, and today you have found a better solution for yourself.
Have you ever wondered, does penis size really matter? Across cultures, countless men have asked the same question. In fact, a study by King's College London revealed that 45.2% of men feel insecure about their size, and 1 in 4 have searched for ways to enlarge it, even when their measurements are completely normal. But according to modern medical science, size contributes to less than 5% of overall sexual satisfaction. The remaining 95% depends on blood circulation, nerve sensitivity, hormonal coordination, and emotional connection, the invisible systems working beneath the skin. Inside the male body, the penis is far more complex than it appears. It is composed of two corpora cavernosa and one corpus spongiosum, filled with millions of microvessels and surrounded by smooth muscle tissue. When the brain senses arousal, electrical signals from the spinal cord trigger the release of nitric oxide, relaxing the smooth muscles and allowing blood to rush in. Within just 0.25 seconds, the pressure inside the erectile chambers rises up to 7 or 8 times above normal, creating the hydraulic tension that causes erection. At this moment, oxygen-rich blood saturates the tissue, feeding energy into every cell. This reaction is instant, automatic, and completely dependent on vascular and neural health, not size. Even a few micrometers of difference in blood vessel flexibility or nerve conduction speed can change performance dramatically. But what exactly is normal? In 2015, the British Journal of Urology International analyzed data from 15,521 men across 17 countries. The results showed that the average erect penis measures 13.12 centimeters in length and 11.66 centimeters in circumference. Statistically, 95% of men fall between 10 and 16 centimeters, perfectly within the biological range of normal. Only 2.5% measure above 16 centimeters, and medical evidence shows that greater length does not lead to greater pleasure for either partner. A 2017 study in the Journal of Sexual Medicine confirmed that factors such as firmness, endurance, and emotional synchrony have far stronger correlations with satisfaction than physical size. In other words, biology values function and coordination, not competition. To understand why, we need to look at female anatomy. The outer third of the vagina contains more than 8,000 sensory nerve endings, twice as many as the glans penis. The so-called G-spot lies only 3 to 5 centimeters inside the vaginal canal. This means that, beyond a certain point, depth offers no additional stimulation. Instead, rhythm, angle, and emotional connection are what activate the brain's reward system. According to research from the Kinsey Institute, 74% of women consider emotional intimacy and synchronized rhythm far more important than size. In fact, penetration deeper than 10-12 centimeters can sometimes cause discomfort rather than pleasure. What truly creates arousal is chemistry, the release of dopamine and oxytocin, the same hormones that emerge from trust and affection, not from length. And so the mind becomes the most powerful sexual organ. Within the male brain, the ventral striatum acts as the command center for confidence and desire. When a man feels secure, dopamine rises, improving focus, control, and endurance. But when he feels anxious or stressed, cortisol floods the bloodstream, tightening arteries and slowing blood flow to the penis. This explains why stress and self-doubt can physically reduce performance in seconds. The connection between the heart, brain, and genitals forms a closed biological circuit. A steady heartbeat sends stronger neural impulses, which in turn stabilize testosterone. Research from Harvard Medical School found that men with positive mental states and adequate sleep maintain 25–30% higher testosterone levels than those suffering chronic stress or insomnia. This delicate balance also determines fertility. A healthy testis produces over 100 million sperm each day, though only 5 to 10% are viable for fertilization. Each sperm travels at around 3 millimeters per second, the equivalent of running a 40-kilometer marathon relative to its size. It then journeys through the vas deferens, a tube roughly 30–35 centimeters long, mixing with prostatic fluid that forms about 30% of semen volume. What matters for fertility is not the length of the organ, but the health of this microscopic process. The quality of sperm, its shape, and its motility. Ideal sperm density ranges between 15 and 259 million per milliliter. A value that depends far more on nutrition, sleep, and hormone balance than on any external measurement.
Specifically,
improving sexual performance,
of the
therefore,
male pelvic floor
begins
muscles.
with understanding the body's biology. To strengthen natural function, start with the pelvic floor muscles, the foundation of erectile control. Daily Kegel exercises for just 10 minutes can increase muscle power by 20 to 25% after 3 weeks. A healthy lifestyle is equally crucial. 7 to 8 hours of sleep nightly reduces cortisol by up to 30% and enhances testosterone production. A balanced diet rich in zinc, vitamin D, and omega-3 fatty acids supports sperm development and vascular elasticity. Meanwhile, smoking and excessive alcohol constrict arteries, damage nerves, and age the circulatory system, the true enemies of male vitality. Finally, maintain emotional well-being, because endogenous dopamine, the pleasure chemical your own brain produces, is nature's most powerful aphrodisiac. In the end, size is only a number. It cannot define masculinity, fertility, or the capacity for pleasure. True strength lies in understanding your body, maintaining hormonal harmony, and cultivating confidence. When the heart and brain synchronize, every organ works in perfect rhythm. This is the essence of male health. Science has proven that confidence and hormone balance influence performance 10 times more than size ever could. So love your body, take care of it, trust it. Because penis size does not define a man's health, balance, and self-assurance do.
Inside the black box of 86 billion neurons, every decision unfolds in milliseconds. Live system, latency 12 milliseconds. Perfusion 100%, the foundation of alertness. A 3D cut opens a living skull, exposing an active neural architecture at 1 second. The brain's shift begins. The cortex flexes with the pulse 60 to 90 beats per minute. The landscape of gyri-sulci maps function, where thought, emotion, and movement are precisely zoned. White matter is a fiber expressway. Signals run along interregional tracks. Good synchrony, low network latency, high cognitive efficiency. EEG beta approximately 18 Hz indicates wakefulness and focus. The live system state confirms stable bioelectric activity with low noise. 2 core metrics, perfusion and latency. When perfusion falls or latency rises, cognitive performance drops, visible in slowness and errors. The executive triangle, PFC control, hippocampus memory, amygdala emotion. Balance among the 3 keeps willpower above impulses. We dive into a cortical sulcus, the micro gateway where a single synaptic jump can redirect an entire train of thought. Cerebral capillaries carry oxygen and glucose, the twin fuels of life. The brain is only approximately 2% of body mass, yet consumes approximately 20% O2 at rest, an energy-hungry machine. Sensory data converge at the thalamus, a transit hub before distribution to specialized cortical areas. Vision, audition, proprioception, excitation/inhibition, approximately 1-to-1 preserves high SNR. When noise is low, the signal of thought is crisp, with fewer voices in your head. At approximately 20 nanometer synaptic cleft,
Motor command.
vesicles release transmitters, glutamate accelerates, GABA breaks. This duet protects the brain from overload. Saltatory conduction across nodes of Ranvier yields speeds of tens to hundreds of meters per second, while reflexes can be nearly instantaneous. From motor cortex, signals descend the corticospinal tract, turning intention into action, from a hand squeeze to a sprint. The PFC, air traffic control for the mind, permits, delays, or aborts decisions. When PFC falters, executive errors soar. The hypothalamus keeps homeostasis, temperature, hunger, sleep, hormonal axes. Stability here shapes both physical and mental health. The BIBB, blood-brain barrier, forms a microscopic fortress. Tight junction welds lock down permeability, preserving a pristine neural milieu. Astrocytes embrace capillaries and synapses, regulating ions and fueling cells, the silent nurses of the neural network. Synapses stand by. Reserve vesicles dock, calcium channels open. Once the threshold is hit, transmission fires. Pumps and transporters clean residue, reclaiming transmitters. Fast cleanup makes the next signal sharper. Ion channels open, and action potential sweeps the axon. On-off sequences click with nanoscopic precision. Oligodendrocytes wrap myelin, the brain's dielectric. Less leakage, higher speed, lower energy cost for neurons. Microglia patrol. Scan, identify, clear low-grade threats. They quench small flames of inflammation before wildfires start. The myelin integrity gauge sits in the green. Intact insulation underpins durable learning and processing speed. 1 a.m. plus a blue screen. Every extra minute of scrolling is another minute of sleep debt. Prime thief of daytime alertness. Blue light suppresses melatonin, shifting the body clock. Recommendation: power down screens 60 to 90 minutes before bed to enter night mode. Glymphatic trash pickup slows sleep loss. Low flow. Neural waste lingers longer than expected. Biologic debris clumps. Short sleep isn't just tiring. It makes the brain
Mood
dirty
stability.
at the micro level. Reaction time lengthens by 100 to 200 milliseconds. Enough to slow actions and compromise driving or machinery safety. SNR sinks. The brain whispers in a noisy room. The same mental task now costs more energy. Irritability rises. When the sleep-stress axis snaps, emotional swings widen and snap decisions follow. Sleep debt accumulates. Plus 1 hour, plus 2 hours. After 5 to 7 days, cognition falls comparable to a full night of deprivation. Chronic stress pushes cortisol up. The needle shifts green to red. The body prioritizes survival, sacrificing strategic thinking. Amygdala drowns out the hippocampus. Emotions shout, memory retreats. Learning slows and recall fades. PFC connections thin, then break. Self-control wanes, impulses win. Executive mistakes multiply. Low HRV flags a taut autonomic system. Restoring rhythm with slow breathing and moderate movement is a recommended measure. A rain of notifications fragments attention. Multitasking doesn't double time. It doubles errors and dilutes decisions. Executive error charts spike. Missends, missed appointments, wrong priorities, united by attentional overload. Network desynchrony. Neurons blink out of phase.
Spike.
Fragmented thinking. Workflow loses cadence. Productivity drops. Neuroinflammatory signatures edge upward. The smoldering fuse of persistent fatigue and waning drive. Post-meal glucose spikes.
Overshoot.
Greater amplitude and SD. Energy seems plentiful, but actually flickers, degrading focus. Insulin surges, then dips. The glycemic pendulum triggers hunger, even with reserves. False appetite. Inflamed cerebrovascular endothelium is like a rough road. Turbulent flow, choppy fuel delivery, sluggish thinking. Insulin sensitivity falls as GLUT channels open less. Simple math. Same input, lower output. Poor brain efficiency. Neuronal mitochondria tire.
Lipid.
Output drops like a battery at 30%. Same workload, higher energy burn. Lipid specks roll by. A footprint of messy metabolism. Left unchecked, they harden into stubborn habits. Prolonged sitting lowers cerebral blood flow by a few percent. Enough to dent afternoon alertness and decision quality. The sitting counter climbs 7 to 9 to 10 hours per day. Warning threshold reached. Insert active brakes. Total load equals F of sleep, stress, glucose. Cross the threshold and the needle slams red. Cognitive output plunges. Desync spreads. Clusters drift off-beat until the whole network speaks different languages. Thoughts become disjointed. Decisions slide toward instinct. Fast but light on evidence. Error probability rises, risks accumulate. The recall curve has holes. Wrong names, weak retrieval. Simple evidence goes temporarily missing. 3 arrows converge into overload. The spillover isn't one drop. It's the sum of many habits. The system throttles to protect itself. Energy save mode on, creativity dim, processing slows, short-term safety, long-term cost. Red flag, thunderclap headache, treat as cerebrovascular emergency, time is brain. Red flag, facial droop, arm weakness, slurred speech, remember FAST and call
Face
emergency
weak.
services immediately. Red flag,
Arm
language
weak.
disturbance, stuttering, word salad, poor comprehension. Don't wait for it to clear. Red flag,
Hello,
first-time
Apple
seizure,
House.
requires medical evaluation to exclude serious causes. Red flag, transient vision loss like a curtain. Think TIA, Get to the hospital early to diagnose and prevent stroke. Red flag, sudden altered consciousness. Prioritize airway safety, call emergency, follow clinical guidance. Set a 7 to 9 hour sleep window. Fixed bed-wake times daily. The foundation of neural recovery, memory, and mood. 90-minute pre-sleep routine. Screens off, warm light less than or equal to 3000 Kelvin. Light reading. The body clock resets cleanly. 150 minutes per week aerobic plus 2 strength sessions. Boosts cerebral blood flow and BDNF, improving mood and attention. 10-minute post-meal walk lowers glucose amplitude, shrinking the area under the curve of energy swings. Steadier brain fuel. Prioritize fatty fish, vegetables, legumes, nuts. Cut ultra-processed foods and added sugars. Mediterranean-style eating supports cognition. 4 to 7 to 8 breathing and 10 minutes per day, meditation. HRV up, cortisol down, autonomic tone recenters, sleep deepens. Deep work, 25 to 50 minutes, single task, notifications off. Gives the PFC space for higher order reasoning, reducing executive errors. Routine checkups, blood pressure, lipids, A1C, screen for sleep apnea when suspected. Partner with clinicians under current guidelines. 7-day brain reset, daily building blocks. Sleep, nutrition, movement, breath, deep work, social connection, metrics. Start step 1 today. A small deviation times 7 days yields a big difference. A clearer mind, steadier emotions, and sharper decisions. The human body is a perfect biological machine. Every second, more than 37 trillion cells work in harmony. Inside the male body, the reproductive system is the birthplace of millions of potential lives. Sperm are continuously produced in the seminiferous tubules at an incredible rate of 1,500 new cells every second. The process of creation, spermatogenesis, takes about 64 days to form one mature sperm cell. When fully developed, each sperm measures only 0.05 millimeters, yet its tail engine can rotate up to 3,000 times per minute. In the moment of ejaculation, over 300 million sperm cells are released, beginning the most extreme biological race on Earth. Like an army of light, they surge forward through liquid currents, seeking the one destination capable of creating life. Upon entering the female body, the environment changes instantly. Temperature, pH, and pressure all shift dramatically. The cervix acts as the first gateway, where only about 1% of sperm are strong enough to pass through. The vaginal canal maintains an acidic pH between 3.8 and 4.5, equivalent to lemon juice, strong enough to destroy most weak sperm instantly. Within moments, over 90% of all sperm are eliminated. Only a few thousand survivors continue their journey. During ovulation, cervical mucus becomes thinner, forming a biological highway guiding sperm forward. Inside the uterus lies an immense universe, nearly 15 centimeters long, yet filled with hidden obstacles. The female immune system identifies sperm as foreign invaders and attacks. A real cellular war within, a perfect circle of creation. From sperm to egg to new life, unfolding within days. Scientific studies show that healthy lifestyle habits can increase natural conception rates by up to 68%. Balanced nutrition, rich in greens, zinc, and omega-3, builds the foundation for reproductive health. Regular physical activity improves blood circulation and hormonal stability. Quality sleep, stress reduction, and meditation enhance melatonin, the hormone that restores reproductive balance. Avoiding toxins, maintaining ideal weight, and getting medical checkups protect future generations. Every heartbeat, every cell, every strand of DNA, all are outcomes of billions of flawless biological replications. The male and female bodies are two halves of perfection. Only united can they sustain life. From a microscopic cell grows a being with 206 bones, 600 muscles, and 100 billion neurons. This connection is not only biological, it's the miracle of nature itself. Life doesn't just begin in the body. It begins in awareness, in the act of protecting creation. Each sperm is a biological astronaut, carrying a unique genetic code of humanity. From microscopic to cosmic, all life shares the same origin, energy-seeking existence. This planet survives because each generation begins with such a journey. Understand it, protect it, respect it. Because within you, millions of such stories unfold every single day. The miracle journey of the sperm, not merely a story of biology, but a testament to the profound miracle called humanity. A perfect circle of creation, from sperm to egg to new life, unfolding within days. Scientific studies show that healthy lifestyle habits can increase natural conception rates by up to 68%. Balanced nutrition, rich in greens, zinc, and omega-3, builds the foundation for reproductive health. Regular physical activity improves blood circulation and hormonal stability. Quality sleep, stress reduction, and meditation enhance melatonin, the hormone that restores reproductive balance. Avoiding toxins, maintaining ideal weight, and getting medical checkups protect future generations. Every heartbeat, every cell, every strand of DNA, all are outcomes of billions of flawless biological replications. The male and female bodies are two halves of perfection. Only united can they sustain life. From a microscopic cell grows a being with 206 bones, 600 muscles, and 100 billion neurons. This connection is not only biological, it's the miracle of nature itself. Life doesn't just begin in the body. It begins in awareness, in the act of protecting creation. Each sperm is a biological astronaut, carrying a unique genetic code of humanity. From microscopic to cosmic, all life shares the same origin, energy-seeking existence. This planet survives because each generation begins with such a journey. Understand it, protect it, respect it. Because within you, millions of such stories unfold every single day. The miracle journey of the sperm, not merely a story of biology, but a testament to the profound miracle called humanity.
Imagine shrinking down to the size of a molecule floating inside your own body. Now look, a single droplet of alcohol enters, shimmering like liquid gold. But beneath its beauty hides a storm of chemistry. Every milliliter of alcohol contains 7.1 kilocalories, the same energy as half a teaspoon of oil. But unlike nutrients, this energy feeds destruction. It forces the liver to prioritize detoxification over everything else. At the molecular scale, you can see it, C2H5OH, ethanol, small, volatile, and ready to disrupt billions of cells. Once inside the bloodstream, ethanol spreads fast, about 1.2 meters per second, hitching a ride on red blood cells. In just 90 seconds, it floods the liver. The liver, a reddish-brown organ weighing 1.5 kilograms, receives 25% of all your blood flow. Every drop you drink, every pill you take, every chemical you inhale, all must pass through here. We zoom in, crossing layers of muscle and tissue, until we enter a world of light and rhythm, a glowing city of cells, the hepatocytes. Over 500 distinct biochemical reactions occur here every minute: synthesis, filtration, metabolism, and energy storage. The liver works quietly, day and night, never resting. Each hepatocyte is only 20 microns wide, but it contains thousands of enzymes working like miniature factories. They break down toxins, transform nutrients, and build essential proteins. Observe the bile ducts, greenish rivers carrying waste away, and enzyme clusters glowing like reactors. The precision is mesmerizing. At its peak performance, the liver keeps you in perfect equilibrium. It is both a shield and a power plant, regulating glucose, fats, hormones, and every chemical that defines life. Every minute, 1.5 liters of blood enter this organ through the portal vein and hepatic artery. Filtered, cleaned, and sent back to the heart. The flow never stops. Here begins the first battle. Alcohol dehydrogenase converts ethanol into acetaldehyde, a compound 30 times more toxic than alcohol itself. Next, the mitochondria, the powerhouses, try to neutralize this toxin by converting it into acetate. The process releases heat and reactive oxygen species, ROS, invisible sparks that can burn cell membranes. Bile ducts act as waste pipelines. When the system is balanced, bile flows smoothly, carrying away digested fats and toxins. The liver's microarchitecture is stunning, over 30,000 sinusoidal capillaries, allowing an enormous surface area for chemical exchange. In just 24 hours, your liver filters about 2,000 liters of blood and processes 10,000 chemical compounds, nutrients, hormones, medications, and pollutants. Each enzyme is precise. A single misfolded protein, a delay in reaction time, and the detox chain falters. Now alcohol enters again. The detox rate increases by 300%, forcing mitochondria to divert all energy toward neutralization. But there's a limit. When acetaldehyde accumulates, oxygen consumption rises, while ATP, the energy currency, drops by 40%. The factory overheats. Enzymes misfire. Molecular debris builds up. The first signs of stress appear. Blood becomes thicker. Flow slows by 10–15%. Oxygen levels fall. Hepatocytes struggle to breathe. Look, their light fades. Under microscope imaging, the cytoplasm darkens, an early warning of metabolic fatigue. Vibrations ripple through tissue. Inflammation begins. Immune cells swarm in, releasing cytokines that further damage the structure. Lipids accumulate, turning the organ yellowish, the first stage of fatty liver disease. Soon, the glow collapses. The rhythm stops. The factory falls silent. This is the moment the liver cries for help. More alcohol, more pills, more midnight meals, the modern habits that suffocate the liver without us noticing. Acetaldehyde levels exceed 50 micromoles per liter, beyond what enzymes can handle. The detox chain breaks. Microscopic cracks appear on the tissue surface. Reactive oxygen species tear through cell membranes. Millions of hepatocytes die. Their internal enzymes, ALT and AST, spill into the bloodstream. Doctors call this liver injury. The body tries to heal. Collagen fibers form. But this scarring becomes fibrosis, a stiff cage trapping the liver's flexibility. Once fibrosis covers 30% of the organ, blood can no longer flow freely. The person feels it as fatigue, nausea, a dull ache under the ribs, warning
Critical
signals
level.
often ignored. Mixing alcohol with medication multiplies the workload. Up to 4,000 enzyme reactions fire simultaneously, overloading the system tenfold. Toxins leak into circulation, reaching the brain. Sleep becomes restless, thoughts cloud, emotions dull. The blood darkens, oxygen saturation drops. The glow of life dims. The brain slows, neurons lose energy. What feels like drunkenness is actually neurotoxic stress. Compare the two livers. One vibrant, one pale and scared. The difference isn't just biology, it's the outcome of years of choices. The explorer stands before a broken wall of tissue, once alive, now silent, echoing a faint heartbeat. Critical alert. AST/ALT soar beyond 100 UL, indicating cellular collapse. It's the body's SOS signal. Darkness spreads through the organ, yet hidden deep inside, a faint shimmer remains, proof that the liver still fights to survive. That shimmer grows, the body's repair code activates. It's time for regeneration. Step 1, stop drinking. Within 24 hours, detox enzyme levels normalize, and oxidative stress decreases by 20%. Step 2, hydrate. Water thins the blood, improves flow, and allows the liver to flush toxins 15% faster. Step 3, greens. Antioxidants like chlorophyll and flavonoids neutralize free radicals, protecting membranes from further damage. Step 4, sleep. Between 11 p.m. and 2 a.m., the liver performs its peak repair cycle, rebuilding proteins and removing waste. Step 5, testing. AST, ALT, and ultrasound screening reveal whether your recovery is real. Numbers never lie. Visualize 5 glowing orbs: hydration, nutrition, rest, abstinence, and awareness, orbiting around the liver, powering its renewal. Cell division resumes. Under optimal conditions, the liver can regenerate up to 70% of its lost tissue in just a few weeks. A miracle no other organ can match. Blood brightens with oxygen, capillaries reopen. Mitochondria hum with energy again. Fibrotic scars shrink. New cells take their place. The tissue regains elasticity, color, and strength. Externally, you see it too. Clearer skin, stronger digestion, lighter mood. Neurons reconnect. Dopamine levels rise. Mental clarity returns like sunlight after a storm. The body glows from within. The vascular network illuminates like constellations across the sky of your anatomy. Each heartbeat sends a wave of energy across the organ. Life's rhythm re-established. Now, the liver shines, not as a factory under strain, but as a luminous core of balance. The explorer looks around in awe. The once toxic world now vibrant with renewal. Every pulse of light is a breath of life. Every heartbeat a reminder that healing begins inside. We zoom outward, from cell to organ, from organ to body, until we see the entire human glowing with vitality. Outside, a man raises a glass, not of whiskey but of pure water. Small change, monumental impact. The liver remains silent, yet every moment it fights, a guardian that never sleeps. This has been your inner journey, inside you, Liver Mission. In less than 10 minutes, you've witnessed over 10 billion biochemical reactions, every one necessary for your survival. The liver isn't just an organ, it's the body's command center of chemistry, the guardian of equilibrium. 5 daily habits can keep it strong. Stop alcohol, hydrate, eat greens, rest well, monitor your numbers. Every drink you skip saves 1,000 cells from dying. Every glass of water dilutes a wave of toxins. Every plate of greens feeds your enzymes the antioxidants they need. Every night of deep sleep helps regenerate billions of hepatocytes. Every medical checkup is a window into your future. Prevention is the most powerful cure. So, choose light over darkness. Your liver works 24 hours a day, silently defending your life. Take care of it before silence becomes irreversible.
Inside the male body, over 37 trillion cells operate continuously, and among them, a process silently creates life itself. The human body is a perfect biological machine. Every muscle, vessel, and neuron synchronized within 1,000th of a second. Deep within lies the male reproductive system: testis, epididymis, vas deferens, and prostate. A living factory of creation. Inside each testis, millions of seminiferous tubules stretch over 250 meters, where every seed of life begins. These coiled tubules are nature's production line, generating more than 100 million sperm every single day. Within this network, two key cells command the process: Sertoli, the nurturer, and Leydig, the hormonal regulator. From the pituitary gland, FSH and LH hormones travel through the bloodstream, initiating the 74-day spermatogenic cycle. It all begins with the stem cell, the spermatogonium, renewing itself endlessly through mitosis. Then comes the primary spermatocyte, preparing for its first meiotic division, having its genetic code. The secondary spermatocyte divides once more, forming distinct genetic nuclei ready for transformation. As the spermatid emerges, its spherical body reshapes into the elongated form of a mature sperm cell. The tail begins to move, a microfiber mechanism beating up to 800 times per second to propel life forward. Millions of sperm flow together, moving in perfect synchronization, a river of biological energy. Every movement is regulated by the endocrine system, FSH, LH, and testosterone working in harmonic cycles. Blood delivers oxygen and nutrients to the testes, circulating 1-200 milliliters per minute to sustain spermatogenesis. Inside each sperm, a 1.8-meter DNA strand is packed into a nucleus barely 5 microns wide. A miracle of compression. Yet even a single DNA break can reduce fertility by up to 60%. Reactive oxygen species, free radicals, attack membranes and proteins, a byproduct of stress, toxins, and pollution. Nicotine penetrates the testes, damaging Sertoli cells and lowering sperm count by up to 40% after just 3 months of smoking. Alcohol elevates estrogen, suppresses testosterone, and shrinks the testes, cutting down sperm production. When sperm velocity drops below 25 microns per second, the chance of reaching an egg becomes almost zero. Some sperm are malformed, oversized heads, double tails, or broken structures, affecting 15% of all samples. Heat is a silent enemy. A rise of merely 1.5 in scrotal temperature can cut sperm production by 20%. Chronic stress lowers testosterone by 25%. The brain signals the body to reduce reproduction. Combined with alcohol, smoking, and sleep loss, the male reproductive system enters a red zone of decline. Fatigue, reduced libido, and hormonal imbalance. Warning signs often ignored by most men. Testosterone levels drop below 300 DL, the threshold defined by the World Health Organization for deficiency. Internal alarms flash: hormonal disorder, weakened sperm, and disrupted life creation. It's time to analyze the problem. The testis must be scanned and rebooted. Modern diagnostics can now examine each germ cell, identifying the root causes of declining sperm quality. The findings point to 5 main factors: heat, toxins, poor sleep, stress, and nutrition. The first remedy: micronutrient support, zinc, vitamin C, D3, and omega-3 to restore cell function. Zinc is the cornerstone. Without it, FSH and LH plummet, impairing sperm mobility. Vitamin C neutralizes free radicals, strengthening DNA. Just 500 milliliters per day improves sperm quality within 3 weeks. Omega-3s enhance membrane flexibility, reducing abnormal forms and boosting motility by 12%. Vitamin D3 activates testosterone. Even 15 minutes of sunlight daily makes a visible difference. The second remedy: avoid heat exposure. No laptops on laps, no hot baths over 10 minutes. The ideal testicular temperature is 34 degrees, exactly 3 degrees lower than body temperature. The third remedy: exercise. 30 minutes of aerobic activity can naturally raise testosterone by 20%. Improved blood flow delivers oxygen and nutrients, fueling a new spermatogenic cycle. The fourth, deep sleep. During REM phase, the body restores hormones and reproductive function. Just 5 nights of sleep deprivation can reduce testosterone by 15%. The fifth, advanced medicine. Stem cell therapy and cryobanking to preserve and regenerate fertility. Cryogenic storage at 196 degrees C maintains DNA integrity for decades. As cells regenerate, testicular tissue heals and spermatogenesis reawakens. Millions of new sperm emerge, stronger, faster, and 80% more fertile. Testosterone levels rebalance. Hormone graphs stabilize. The body realigns to its natural rhythm. The pituitary gland resumes full control, orchestrating hormones with perfect precision. The reproductive system restores harmony. Life energy circulates effortlessly, and when sperm meets egg, one among millions, life begins anew. Within that single cell lies over 3 billion base pairs of DNA, humanity's genetic blueprint. No two sequences are identical. The biological signature of individuality. The body reconnects its networks, hormones, cells, and systems into one seamless harmony. The entire form glows with energy, the visual essence of optimal male health. The heart beats at 70 beats per minute, echoing biological perfection in every pulse. Every cell vibrates in synchrony, proof of total systemic balance. The body reaches homeostasis, the state of complete internal equilibrium. The DNA helix rotates slowly, glowing, the eternal emblem of life's code. This journey blends biology, mathematics, and the wonder of nature itself. Science sees what eyes can't. The Code of Life, a cinematic series decoding the hidden mechanisms of the human body. Every gene and every cell tells a story. The story of evolution, of humanity. Hormones, DNA, and cells weave a biological symphony, where every beat sustains existence. The sperm's journey continues, carrying the eternal message of life forward. Each cycle of regeneration renews health and begins a new generation. The brain, the ultimate command center, synchronizes every impulse with surgical precision. The endocrine system lights up, connecting thousands of glands into a unified network. The male body, a symbol of energy and continuity, reborn each day from within. A pulse of life radiates outward, awakening the body with inner light. This is the code of life, where science and existence converge, and every cell is a miracle.
Inside every woman's body, billions of cells perform a biological symphony that repeats each month with astonishing precision. As we move beneath the skin and through the layers of tissue, we enter a world invisible to the human eye, a world where hormones, organs, and time operate in perfect synchronization. Here lies the uterus, a small organ only about 7.5 centimeters long and weighing less than 70 grams, yet capable of sustaining and renewing life. On either side sit the ovaries, each containing between 300,000 and 400,000 eggs, though only about 400 will ever be released in an entire lifetime. Connecting them are the fallopian tubes, the delicate pathways that carry the egg on its most remarkable journey. A typical menstrual cycle lasts around 28 days, divided into 4 distinct phases: menstruation, the follicular phase, ovulation, and the luteal phase. Each one represents a different chapter in the conversation between the brain, the hormones, and the body. It all begins in the pituitary gland, the hormonal control center located beneath the brain. From here, two key messengers are released, FSH and LH. FSH, or follicle-stimulating hormone, sends the signal that awakens a new generation of follicles within the ovaries. Dozens begin to grow, each containing an immature egg that has lain dormant for years. Under FSH stimulation, one follicle grows faster than the rest. It becomes the dominant follicle, enlarging to about 18 to 25 millimeters in diameter. Inside, thousands of granulosa cells nurture the egg, releasing estrogen, the hormone that thickens the uterine lining to 5 to 7 millimeters and enriches it with blood vessels. As estrogen peaks, the brain responds with a surge of LH, the final trigger that signals ovulation. Within hours, the follicle ruptures and the egg is released, a fleeting event lasting barely 15 minutes, but representing the pinnacle of reproductive readiness. Surrounded by nutrient-rich fluid, the egg begins its journey through the fallopian tube. Measuring just 0.1 millimeter, 10 times larger than a skin cell, it can survive for only 12 to 24 hours. Tiny hair-like structures called cilia line the fallopian tubes, moving rhythmically to guide the egg forward at just 1 centimeter per minute. Millions of these microscopic movements act in harmony, like waves pushing a single cell toward its destination. This is the fertile window, the moment when the entire endocrine system reaches perfect balance as estrogen, LH, and progesterone align. Yet the window remains open for only about 4 days, roughly 15% of the entire cycle. If sperm are present, roughly 300 million in a single ejaculation. The most extraordinary event in biology may occur. Only one sperm, among millions, will penetrate the egg's protective shell and form a zygote, the very beginning of life. If fertilization does not happen, the egg disintegrates within 24 hours and is reabsorbed by the body. As progesterone levels drop, the uterine lining loses stability and begins to shed. This is menstruation, the release of blood and tissue lasting 3 to 7 days, with an average blood loss of 30 to 40 milliliters. When it ends, the body immediately begins the process again, renewing, resetting, and repeating this rhythm hundreds of times across a woman's lifetime. But what happens when this rhythm is disrupted? The menstrual cycle is highly sensitive to stress, lack of sleep, and environmental changes. Elevated cortisol from chronic stress suppresses FSH and LH, delaying or even preventing ovulation. Prolonged imbalance may contribute to polycystic ovary syndrome, PCOS, affecting nearly 10% of women worldwide. Caffeine, alcohol, and smoking reduce blood flow to the ovaries, while sleep deprivation can lower melatonin secretion by up to 30%, disrupting the body's internal clock. When hormones lose their pattern, estrogen and progesterone fluctuate unpredictably. The body responds with cramps, fatigue, and premenstrual symptoms. The tightening pain in the abdomen is the uterus contracting to push blood outward, while inflammatory cells activate along the uterine wall, creating discomfort and fatigue. If this persists, communication between the brain and the ovaries weakens, leading to temporary amenorrhea, the loss of menstruation, and a full hormonal imbalance reflected in skin, mood, and sleep. Yet the human body has an extraordinary ability to heal when given care and time. Nutrition is the first key. Iron, zinc, vitamin B6, and omega-3 fatty acids support hormone balance and reduce inflammation. Adequate sleep, 7 to 8 hours per night, has been shown in Harvard studies to reduce menstrual irregularities by 37%. Gentle movement such as yoga or walking improves pelvic circulation, while meditation calms the amygdala, the brain's stress center, stabilizing hormonal rhythms. Tracking one's cycle with digital apps helps detect irregularities early and fosters awareness of the body's signals. Within 2 or 3 months of adopting healthy habits, hormone levels begin to stabilize. The uterine lining regenerates evenly and healthily. Hormonal grafts smooth into gentle waves once more. As equilibrium returns, skin brightens, sleep deepens, and vitality increases. Signs of systemic harmony. New eggs mature, ready for the next cycle, continuing the unending pattern of renewal. Remember, your body is never against you. It is communicating, asking for balance and care. From a biological perspective, the menstrual system is a masterpiece of engineering. Every month, the ovaries, uterus, and brain coordinate through thousands of chemical signals, maintaining the capacity for renewal. When hormones, emotions, and lifestyle align, reproductive health reaches its natural equilibrium. On a cosmic scale, the menstrual cycle mirrors the rhythm of the moon. 28 days of light and shadow, birth and release. It is not merely a biological process, but a story of life, body, and identity told through light and transformation. The 5 golden pillars of a healthy cycle: balanced diet, restorative sleep, gentle movement, emotional calm, and regular tracking keep this rhythm steady. Reproductive health belongs not only to the body, but also to the mind. When the body thrives, the skin glows, the voice softens, and the energy of life flows freely. True confidence arises not from appearance, but from understanding and nurturing one's own body. Listen to your cycle. It is the language your body speaks every month. Every cell, every hormonal pulse is evidence of the extraordinary strength of womanhood. Hormones flow like tides, breathing life through every rhythm of nature. When you understand your body, you gain control over your emotions, your health, and your future. Feminine energy is not weakness. It is the creative force of renewal itself.
Every drop of blood in a woman's body carries over 4.7 million red blood cells. Traveling through more than 100,000 kilometers of vessels, the first journey of life itself. Beneath the skin lies the endometrial lining, a self-renewing tissue that regenerates over 400 times in a woman's lifetime. Inside the ovaries, over 1,000 U.S. sites begin development each month, yet only one will mature for ovulation. This entire process is orchestrated by the brain-pituitary-ovarian axis, a biological processor of extraordinary precision. Under magnification, the oocyte glows like a tiny sun, powered by ATP, the universal energy of life. The egg's membrane, just 0.005 millimeters thick, can detect more than 60 biochemical signals at once. The ovarian blood supply never rests over 1.2 liters of blood flow through the pelvis every minute. When FSH and LH surge, hormonal particles travel like data streams transmitting signals at 3 meters per second. In response, the oocyte matures as surrounding follicular cells form a living energy capsule. During ovulation, ovarian pressure reaches 20 millimeters of mercury, propelling the egg into the fallopian tube. Inside the tube, millions of cilia beat in harmony, moving the egg about 3 to 4 centimeters per day. Within the uterus, every structure prepares for life, maintaining a constant internal temperature of 37 degrees Celsius. The endometrial wall thickens by nearly 1 millimeter every 24 hours, creating a biological cushion for potential life. Estrogen, the hormone of vitality and fertility, peaks at 200 picograms per milliliter before ovulation. In a healthy body, Hormonal waves follow a perfect 28-day rhythm, yet a shift of just 3 days can cause imbalance. Prolonged stress elevates cortisol levels by 2.5 times, disrupting the entire endocrine axis. Chronic sleep deprivation reduces melatonin by 40%, silencing the body's nighttime signal. With less melatonin, the brain loses its sleep cue, impairing ovulation and hormonal timing. Diets high in sugar spike insulin, triggering resistance that interferes with estrogen balance. When hormones destabilize, uterus contracts microscopically measurable at 10 to 15 microvolts of electrical activity. Polycystic ovary syndrome affects 1 in 10 women of reproductive age, according to WHO 2023. Inflammatory disorders account for nearly 70% of menstrual irregularities, especially in younger women. Endometriosis, where uterine cells grow outside the womb, affects over 176 million women worldwide. Global data show that 1 in 3 women will experience some form of hormonal disorder in her lifetime. Research in Nature Endocrinology identifies the ESR1 gene as a key regulator of estrogen function. Under chronic stress, the brain sends a shutdown signal to the ovaries, reducing ovulation capacity by 50%. Yet with rest, the body can restore hormonal balance within the first 72 hours. 7 to 8 hours of deep sleep can boost hormone regeneration by 70%, nature's reset mechanism. An anti-inflammatory diet rich in omega-3 south and leafy greens lowers hormonal imbalance risk by 25%. 30 minutes of light exercise daily doubles pelvic blood flow, supporting ovarian vitality. Just 10 minutes of meditation can reduce cortisol by 30%, improving hormonal equilibrium. Routine gynecological exams every 6 months detect 95% of early abnormalities before progression. When balance returns, the uterus regains full biological elasticity, nearly 100% functional recovery. Hormonal waves move like music. Each electrical pulse lasts only 0.03 seconds. Each cell generates over 10 million ATP molecules per second, fueling the body's constant renewal. The reproductive system functions like an automated network, synchronized down to the millisecond. When hormones align, the body radiates from within, every cell operating at peak efficiency. The female body is a microcosmos of 37 trillion cells, glowing together in rhythmic harmony. This is the silent symphony of life, where creation begins from within. Uterine cells regenerate their structure within 72 hours, a testament to extraordinary resilience. Balanced blood flow delivers over 5 liters of nutrients per minute, nourishing uterine tissue. When estrogen stabilizes, mood, sleep, and skin all improve, the biological clock resets. Healthy ovaries sustain steady cycles, each egg activating over 20,000 genes. The pituitary gland operates as a central command hub, sending hormonal signals with millisecond accuracy. The 28-day cycle repeats with mathematical precision, a natural algorithm unique to women. Heartbeat and hormonal flow synchronize at 1.1 Hz, composing the rhythm of life. The immune system acts as a guardian, eliminating more than 5,000 abnormal cells daily in the reproductive tract. When neural and hormonal systems align, the brain emits alpha waves, the signal of inner peace. The parasympathetic system activates, lowering heart rate to 60 beats per minute, initiating deep recovery. At this moment, the body achieves homeostasis, the foundation of lasting health. The 28-day biological cycle repeats flawlessly, hour by hour, hormone by hormone. When life synchronizes with nature, hormones adjust just as sunlight follows the moon. Deep breathing increases oxygen flow to the brain by 15%, instantly reducing physiological stress. Bioenergy waves flow outward. Each heartbeat drives millions of calcium ions through the body. The female DNA glows like a galaxy, every gene a musical note in the song of life. A single healthy egg carries all the genetic material for 46 perfect chromosomes. Under chronic stress, egg quality can drop by 40%, according to Fertility and Sterility 2022. The fusion of two energies, yin and yang, marks the very beginning of existence. The light emitted at fertilization equals 10 million photons, a true spark of life. As we pull back from the body, we witness the harmony between biology and emotion. The body now glows from within, a sign of hormonal stability and perfect metabolism. The calm face and bright eyes reflect the tangible beauty of internal balance. Each cell shines like a star. Together, they form a galaxy called the female body. From afar, Earth itself beats in rhythm with the human heart, the planet of life. The hormonal cycles of every human create a shared rhythm, the heartbeat of our species. Inside you lies an entire universe. Learn to protect it. Every light needs darkness to shine. Every body needs rest to regenerate. Even as it ends, biological energy echoes on the universe's heartbeat, never stops. Health is not merely the absence of illness, but the harmony between body and mind. The final heartbeat, not an ending, but the start of a new cycle of life.
Among nearly 300 million sperm cells, only one succeeds in completing the 18-centimeter journey to meet the ovum. The human egg, the largest cell in the body, about 0.12 millimeters wide, waits patiently for that precise moment of destiny. When the sperm penetrates its membrane, the genetic codes of father and mother merge. 46 chromosomes containing the entire blueprint of life. From this union, the zygote carries more than 3 billion DNA base pairs, each faithfully copied with an error rate of less than 1 in a billion. Inside the nucleus, DNA begins replicating at a speed of 1,000 nucleotides per second, a miracle of molecular precision. Within 24 hours, the zygote divides into 2 daughter cells. The first duplication of life. 2 points of light begin their parallel journey, marking the biological possibility of twins. Every 12 hours, the cell count doubles 2, 4, 8, 16, the morula stage. By day 3, the 8-cell embryo drifts down the fallopian tube, guided by more than 20,000 microscopic cilia. When it reaches the uterus, the endometrium, now 8 to 12 millimeters thick, is ready to receive it. The embryo attaches, and implantation begins. Tiny blood vessels grow. The first traces of the placenta appear, forming a 50-centimeter long capillary network that will exchange oxygen and nutrients. By day 21, a faint pulsing begins. The embryonic heart beats at about 110 times per minute, nearly twice that of an adult. Within the cell nucleus, DNA continues replicating, determining every detail of the new being: eye color, blood type, even the potential for twin formation. In about 1% of pregnancies, the developing embryo naturally splits in 2, creating identical twins that share 100% of their genetic material. 2 embryos grow side by side, nourished by the same maternal bloodstream. Genetic analysis shows a difference of only 0.3% less than that between 2 cells in the same body. 23 pairs of chromosomes align perfectly. 1 genome, 2 lives. When 2 separate eggs are fertilized by 2 different sperm, however, fraternal twins form. They share only 50% of their DNA, like ordinary siblings, and may differ in sex, blood group, and physical traits. Each zygote develops its own placenta and amniotic sac. About 70% of twin pregnancies are of this type. 2 tiny hearts now beat inside 1 womb, the beginning of a miraculous dual symphony of life. As weeks pass, 2 amniotic sacs expand, each containing 500-800 milliliters of protective fluid. The umbilical cords grow to 50 centimeters, carrying oxygen and nutrients from the mother. Their hearts beat around 150, 160 times per minute, a duet of rhythm and light. The fetal brain develops at astonishing speed, producing 250,000 neurons every minute. By week 8, their hands and feet move. The twins touch, for the first time, an early reflex of human connection. At week 10, each fetus measures about 3 centimeters and weighs nearly 4 grams, already with a unique fingerprint. The placenta now functions like a biological power station, exchanging 50 milliliters of oxygenated blood per minute for each twin. The mother's heartbeat harmonizes with theirs, forming a perfect biological resonance. Her uterus expands to twice its normal size, gaining more than 1.5 kilograms in weight. Hormones such as oxytocin and serotonin circulate through the shared bloodstream, stabilizing emotion and aiding neural growth. Yet, this fragile harmony can be disrupted. Chronic stress elevates cortisol, reducing placental blood flow by up to 25%. Nicotine constricts placental arteries, cutting oxygen by nearly 30%. Excess sugar and caffeine trigger insulin spikes and metabolic stress. Under pressure, the uterus contracts slightly, limiting oxygen. Both fetuses slow their movements, their heart rates falling. Studies from the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists show prolonged stress can increase the risk of preterm birth by 37%. When maternal cortisol exceeds 700 nmol/L, the fetal nervous system can be affected long-term. Without rest, the mother's cardiovascular system becomes overloaded, especially after week 30. But the body's ability to recover is extraordinary. With simple changes, balance returns. Deep, slow breathing, 6 times per minute, increases oxygen levels by 15% and lowers cortisol naturally. Within days, blood flow to the placenta improves, nourishing both lives again. Proper nutrition becomes vital. 2,700, 3,000 kilocalories, about 600 more than a single pregnancy. 8 hours of sleep boosts growth hormone by 20%, supporting tissue and brain development. Regular checkups every 2 weeks track both heartbeats and blood circulation. Light exercise, such as a 30-minute walk, reduces the risk of preeclampsia by 40%. Talking to the babies stimulates alpha brainwaves, making them feel secure. Research shows fetal heart rate rises when they hear their mother's voice, a sign of early sound recognition. A healthy placenta supplies about 60 milligrams of calcium and 200 milligrams of iron daily to each twin. Adding protein, omega-3, and folate, vitamin B9, can reduce preterm risk by 35%, WHO 2021. Prenatal yoga activates the parasympathetic system, easing anxiety. Optimal development occurs when the mother's temperature stays around 7 degrees Celsius, and her heart rate 70-80 BPM. Emotional connection within the family boosts oxytocin, the love hormone that protects against stress. A balanced diet rich in fiber and low in sugar helps prevent gestational diabetes. Sleeping in darkness increases melatonin, regulating circadian rhythms for both mother and child. Inside the womb, the twins turn gently, exercising their growing nervous systems. Each day, mother and babies perform an unending biological miracle. Her body now carries nearly 4 liters of circulating blood. 2 tiny beings exchange glances through the thin veil of amniotic fluid, their first silent conversation. 3 hearts beat to one rhythm, a symbol of perfect biological unity. Fragments of fetal DNA flow through the mother's bloodstream. Up to 10% of her serum DNA originates from her babies. 2 tiny hands reach and touch, transmitting neural signals through 15,000 sensory fibers the first physical bond. The maternal heart enlarges its output by 30–40% to sustain them a physiological triumph. Her smile triggers fetal endorphins, the hormones of happiness. Two small hearts glow together, two lives, one love. Light converges into a symbol of creation, marking the completion of the twin journey. The miracle of life, documented in over 200 medical studies, stands as proof of nature's genetic wonder. The journey of twin creation ends here, yet the journey of love has only just begun.
Inside every cell is a black box that stores the entire code of life. Open the lid and watch DNA operating in real time. This is the nucleus, the vault of your genetic data. Chromatin fibers await unpacking to reveal the double helix. As chromatin loosens, the double helix gradually emerges. Structure determines function, the core principle of molecular biology. The DNA double helix is only 2 cm thick, rotating at Planck 10.5 base pairs per turn. A sugar phosphate backbone cradles the letters A, T, G, and C. The major and minor grooves are not merely geometry. They are the doors proteins use to recognize and read genes accurately. The negatively charged sugar phosphate backbone stabilizes the strand, shielding the core base sequence from random collisions. A pairs with T via 2 hydrogen bonds, flexible enough to open and close during replication. G pairs with C via 3 hydrogen bonds, a tighter bond whose small detail has a big impact on local stability. The human genome contains R3's 109 base pairs, a colossal number that cells manage every day. DNA's 3 duties are storage, replication, and instruction. If the cell is a factory, DNA is the technical specification. A gene is only a short stretch in a sea of sequence. Pinpointing the correct locus is prerequisite for accurate expression. A helical pitch of 10.5 bp per turn optimizes packing and accessibility. Tight enough to be compact, loose enough to be reached. A diameter of 2 nm, about $120,000 the width of a hair, means even tiny micro errors can bend the helix. With only 4 letters A, T, G, C, arranging them in triplets yields an almost limitless language. Codon to amino acid. Every 3 bases specify 1 protein building block. The genetic code is a dictionary shared by most life, from structure to function. When letters fall into place, the cell receives the correct instructions. When they don't, the repair systems step in. DNA replication begins as the fork opens like a zipper, and every step obeys the 5-to-3 direction. Helicase splits the strands, consuming ATP like a molecular motor, with speeds reaching hundreds of bases per second. NCBI PubMed. SSB proteins coat single strands to prevent re-annealing, like paper clips holding a page open. Primase lays